Another great benefit of $2,000 in monthly government guaranteed universal basic income concerns those who are incarcerated throughout the United States. Now, the FBI's preliminary semi-annual uniform crime report for January through June of 2019 states the following information. Preliminary figures indicate that law enforcement agencies throughout the nation showed an overall decrease of 3.1% in the number of violent crimes brought to their attention for the first 6 months of 2019 when compared with figures reported for the same time in 2018. The violent crime category includes murder, rape, revised definition, robbery, and aggravated assault. The number of property crimes in the United States from January to June of 2019 dropped 5.6% when compared with data for the same time period in 2018. Property crimes include burglary, larceny, theft, and motor vehicle theft. Arson is also a property crime, but data for arson are not included in property crime totals due to fluctuations in reporting. Figures for the first 6 months of 2019 indicate that arson decreased 12.5% when compared with 2018 figures for the same time period. Now, according to the FBI's preliminary semi-annual uniform crime report for January through June of 2019, there was an overall decrease of 3.1% in the number of violent crimes brought to their attention when compared with the data for the same time period in 2018. Property crimes dropped 5.6% when compared with the data for the same time period in 2018. The crime areas that include lack of income or lack of money as the motivating factor, such as robberies or burglaries, will automatically decrease as a direct result of the $2,000 in monthly government guaranteed universal basic income. The reported crime percentage decreases of 3.1% for violent crimes and 5.6% for property crimes will decrease much further because of the enactment of the $2,000 monthly government guaranteed universal basic income program, which will be a positive benefit that will be felt throughout the United States. The resources necessary to address the crime areas that include lack of income or lack of money as the motivating factor can be redirected to other necessary areas because of the decrease in crime in these areas. This will have a direct positive impact on United States prisons as the number of people committing crimes in these areas and becoming convicted felons will decrease. The decrease in people becoming convicted felons will automatically have a direct positive effect on United States prisons as the number of people going to prison decrease, which will have a direct positive effect on the recidivism rate in United States prisons. In other words, since the people do not go to prison in the first place, they will undoubtedly not be going back to prison, and as a result, they will not become a statistic in the recidivism rate. Concerning convicted felons in and out of prison, the National Institute of Justice states the following information. Recidivism is one of the most fundamental concepts in criminal justice. It refers to a person's relapse into criminal behavior, often after the person receives sanctions or undergoes intervention for a previous crime. Recidivism is measured by criminal acts that resulted in rearrest, reconviction, or return to prison with or without a new sentence during a 3-year period following the prisoner's release. The National Institute of Justice states the following information. Bureau of Justice Statistics studies have found high rates of recidivism among released prisoners. Examines the recidivism patterns of former prisoners during a 9-year follow-up period. The researchers found that the 401,288 state prisoners released in 2005 had 1,994,000 arrests during the 9-year period, an average of 5 arrests per released prisoner. 60% of these arrests occurred during years 4 through 9. An estimated 68% of released prisoners were arrested within 3 years, 79% within 6 years, and 83% within 9 years. 82% of prisoners arrested during the 9-year period were arrested within the first 3 years. Almost half, 47% of prisoners who did not have an arrest within 3 years of release were arrested during years 4 through 9. 44% of released prisoners were arrested during the first year following release, while 24% were arrested during year 9. Now, this information from the National Institute of Justice shows the need to address the recidivism rate. Convicted felons have a rough time finding employment with a felony on their record, yet they're expected to make it financially when they're released from prison. This results in recidivism, as some convicted felons return to crime to make it financially, and some convicted felons return to crime to return to prison so they can have food and shelter instead of being homeless on the streets. The recidivism rate for convicted felons in prison and out of prison will decrease because of the enactment of the $2,000 monthly government guaranteed universal basic income program, which is a positive benefit that will be felt throughout the United States. Convicted felons in prison and out of prison are included in the program, as all that is required for the program is United States citizenship. $2,000 in monthly government guaranteed universal basic income for convicted felons who have paid their debt to society will enable them to start over with an income that will have a direct positive impact on the recidivism rate. Under the program, those who are incarcerated will receive the $2,000 in monthly universal basic income, and it cannot be touched by prison officials. This will result in those who are released from prison having money to begin their lives again.